This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Now I know why you like Creasel so much.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's the very best.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Where were we? Oh, program password.
Oh, really? That was over. Yeah, it's almost over.
You're doing a really good job for your first time ever playing.
I'm also not. But
Chad Greenway and Common against Meat Sauce and Creasel. Where are we at? Tenna be at the halfway point.
Yeah, Common and Greenway with the lead, 43-24. As always, you can watch the second half of Program Password at KFAN.com/watch.
I know how Sam Darnold felt now. I have open receivers and I keep overthrowing them. That was the easiest. That was a wide open touchdown. Master, as you're smiling.
Did you sign?
How did I came from work. So I'm in work mode, not pervert mode, like the morning show.
Yeah. Meat Sauce can
Yoga
just
pants,
flip
breast.
the switch.
Yes.
You know, he's got that.
You Troy Williams in that one.
Yeah, that was right at you, but whatever. Those are some important years of my life, the Troy Williamson years.
Oh, yeah, you played with them.
I need to go to the eye clinic, the Nike eye clinic right now.
Did I ever.
The ear clinic.
The bounce off his face mask in Denver.
God. Yes.
Oh,
that plays
wide open. Snowing, really pretty. We could have won the game and just like, oh, your season's over.
That'll happen.
I would have caught it.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, we're ready.
It's so bad.
Second half, like I said, Common and Greenway lead 43-24 over Sauce and Creasel. Let's move on to Creasel and Common with the iPad, please. The password is invitation. All right, Creasel, you're down 19 to start the second half. The option is yours. You want to go first or second?
Oh, man.
5 seconds.
Second.
All right, Common and Greenway for 10.
That's it. I'll give it to you. Ask.
Question.
Creasel and Sauce for 9.
Wedding.
Invitation?
Yes.
Great.
I shouldn't have said ask. I should have, because I knew that he would say that, and then Meat Sauce, you could see it grinding in his head, and then
I was waiting for Sauce to answer proposal to that, because it asked and then wedding. I'm like, oh,
that was actually where my head went immediately.
All right, we got ourselves a 10-point game. It's 43-33. It looks like Sauce and Creasel are on a 24-9 run. Sauce and Greenway, take a look at the iPad. The password is scam. All right, Sauce, another chance to tie it. You're down 10 points here. The option's yours. You want to go first or second?
We will go second.
All right, Greenway and Common for 10.
Fraud.
Rosen. That's not it.
That was brilliant.
That would have been a layup if it was. Sauce and Creasel for 9.
Call.
Waste.
Greenway and Common for 8.
Illegal.
Scam.
Boom.
Rosen. That was brilliant. Yes. And look at you got the joke and the points.
Yes.
I love that you were willing to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Just to
Yes,
get
I was. I was willing to lose
Damn it.
for the cheap shot.
That was a good clue, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, 51-33, Common and Greenway with the lead. They're 29 points away from a victory. Creasel and Common. Take a look at the iPad. The password is pad. All right, Creasel, you're down 18 points, so the option is yours. You want to go first or second?
We'll go first.
All right, Creasel and Sauce for 10.
Maxie.
Pad.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, we got an 8-point game all of a sudden. It's 51-43. Common and Greenway still holding on to the lead.
Objects in your hand.
Meat Sauce and Chad. Take a look at the iPad. The password is Judge. Sauce, for the first time all game, you have a chance to take the lead. You're down 8 points, but you have the option. What do you want to do here, first or second?
We'll go first.
All right, for the lead, for 10, Sauce and Creasel.
Ito.
Judge.
Got it.
Wow.
Let's go.
Thank you.
That
I was
was
going to
good.
say Aaron, but Aaron is too...
And then, I must be using my hearing too. I thought you said Edo.
I may
And
have. Yeah.
And I thought Edo, then so I thought this is some
That's
kids
for my
thing.
wife.
That's generation. It's some...
Good. Well done.
Because
it's some game, video game thing that I have no idea. Ito, I see.
Because if I say Aaron, there's 1,000 of them.
They
Could be Rogers. Could
Judy. You could say Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Woodhawk, 100%.
100%.
Obviously. Back
She'd
to
be a handful.
back-to-back 10-pointers for Sauce and Creasel. They now have the lead. It's 53-51.
Can they hold it, though?
Leading for the first time today.
We know
Creasel.
you can't.
Creasel.
By the way, thunk is a word definition, the sound made by a heavy object landing. So it's in the
there we go, yeah.
So me when I get out of bed.
Creasel and Common. Take a look at the iPad.
We're going first.
The password is leave.
We'll go first.
Wow. Oh, very confident. Common and Greenway to regain the lead. This one for 10.
Exit.
Entrance.
Creasel and Sauce for 9.
Tree.
Fort.
Common and Greenway for 8.
Rake.
Leaves.
Yes. We'll do it.
Yeah.
All good.
Goes leave.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I thought exit leave was a no-brainer, but then I thought after he said that, I said, no, that wasn't a no-brainer. I don't know why I thought that was just automatic.
For a normal person, it would be.
No, because there was entrance.
That's a tough one.
That wasn't, I thought. So I went first right away. I thought, I got this one.
It's the right play. You knew it was a 3-word clue.
You got to know your partner.
All of a sudden, Common and Greenway, you have the lead back. It's 59-53. Sauce and Greenway. Take a look at your iPad. The password is Perfect. Sauce, it's back on you because you're down 6 points. You have the option here. What do you want to do, first or second?
We'll go second.
All right. Greenway and Common for 10.
Pitch.
Throw.
Sauce and Creasel for 9.
Superb.
Strike.
Greenway and Common for 8.
Game.
Perfect.
Yes.
Good one.
Great job.
Yeah, no, really good clue there.
I knew when you said pitch that Common would not get that one correct.
Oh, because the movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh,
Sorry.
4 daughters.
All right. Common. Greenway, you're at 67, so you are 13 points away from a win. Sauce and Creasel, you are at 53. I need Creasel and Common to take a look at the iPad. The password is Riot.
Look at that. Okay. Thanks.
All right, Creasel. You're down 14 here, so you have the option. What would you like to do here, first or second?
First.
All right, Creasel and Sauce for 10.
Unrest.
Tired.
I like that. No,
Common and Greenway for 9.
Disturbance.
Civil.
Creasel and Sauce for 8.
Destruction.
War.
Common and Greenway for 7.
Quiet.
Creasel and Sauce for 6.
Minneapolis.
Riots.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
Mostly peaceful.
I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Don't apologize. We got it.
I can't be
We're
invited
good.
back.
No.
You're
Quiet was beautiful. That was perfect.
Yeah.
I thought of that too, but also too is then we're way off path.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I think the fact that you said it quietly,
Maybe that
as
was
opposed to just doing like the band.
I should have said quiet.
Yeah, quiet riot.
Yeah.
All right, we got an 8-point game. It's 67-59. Common and Greenway still with the lead. They're 13 points away from a win. Sauce and Creasel, you are 21 away from a win. Meat Sauce and Greenway, take a look at the iPad. The password is cast. All right, Sauce, you're down 8. You can take the lead once again here. You have the option. What do you want to do, first or second?
We will go second.
All right, Greenway and Common for 10.
Supporting.
Cast.
Yeah, good clue. Son of a bitch. Good clue. Sorry. Good.
It was in the inflection, right?
Can we say that?
Yeah, we say it on the power trip.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You're the power trip.
A little different.
Just the F word.
You guys don't get consequences.
Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry.
All right, here's where we're
Great
at.
clue.
Common and Greenway, you're at 77. So any correct answer, you win. Sauce and Creasel, you're at 21. So you're going to have to get 3 in a row here. 3 correct answers in a row at least to win. So Creasel and Common, take a look at the iPad. The password is press. All right, John. Probably going to have the option the rest of the way here. You're down 18. You got the option. You want to go first or second? Five seconds.
John. I'm thinking
This isn't
I'm
the
so
initials
deep
game.
in thought. Oh, my God. We will
first or
go second.
All right. Common and Greenway for 10.
In my mind, I was like, damn it, John. Figure it out.
Common and Greenway for 10 and the win.
Printing.
Oh.
Money.
That's only in your family, Chad. Creasel and Sauce for 9.
Push.
Press.
Great clue.
That was an excellent clue.
It was said perfectly.
I thought so.
John. I'm glad it's Friday, man.
That was great.
All right, Common and Greenway, you lead 77-68. So still any correct answer for you two, you win. Sauce and Creasel, you need 12 more points. Meat Sauce and Greenway, take a look at the iPad. The password is Diamond. All right, Meat Sauce, you're down 9. The option's yours. What do you want to do here, first or second?
We will go first.
All right, Sauce and Creasel for 10.
Continental
Diamond.
Wow.
Let's go.
Great clue.
I thought it was over.
It is over. You guys have just won. Congratulations.
No, it's not over.
Come on.
You guys have won. Congratulations.
Here's where we're at. Sauce and Creasel now have a 1-point lead. They lead
You guys get to go first, though.
78-77. So you are right. Common and Greenway will have the option here. Sauce. No, I got to cross that off. Creasel and Common. Take a look at the iPad, please. The password is Rainbow. All right, put that down. There you go. There you go, Creasel. Common, you're down 1 point, so the option is yours, the biggest option of the game.
We're going to go for it.
And he sounds confident. Ooh. Common and Greenway for 10 and the win.
Somewhere.
Rainbow.
Oh, that was an excellent clue.
That was great.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was great.
Thank you.
Beautifully sung, too.
Well
Thank
done.
you. I thought so. I got a little Judy Garland in me.
Yeah.
Click those heels together.
Yes.
What if I said over?
There's no
That's what I thought you might have said.
Well, I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, wait a second here.
Can't even be upset about that one. That was
fun.
Gentlemen,
fantastic.
thanks for coming in. I see Sauce again.
You saved me again.
Yeah. No.
How do
we
you
were a
do
great
it
team.
for an average man?
We're 2-0. Well
2-0.
done.
I
Chad
think
Greenway.
if people are bored, they should go to johncreasel.com and book me for an upcoming speaking engagement. That's what I would suggest.
And you could also book Chad Greenway.
ChadGreenway.com.
Look at that.
Yes.
And we're going to work together. We're talking about this, so let's go.
Tag team.
And if you're a club that wants comedy, you can book Sauce and I.
Yes.
Hey.
Have a great weekend,
Good luck
guys.
tonight.
Thanks
Break
for
a
coming.
leg.
Appreciate that. We'll see you, Sauce. Take a short break. Come back with more after this here on The Fan.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You know how we're always talking about what's next? Well, I found it. It's called Formula E. Forget everything you think you know about racing. This isn't just cars going fast. It's like a supercomputer on wheels. The tech is insane, and the drivers, they're like chess grandmasters at 200 miles per hour. You've got to see it. Trust me. You'll be hooked. Follow Formula E live on Roku. Next race, Miami, April 12th.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty. Self-doubt. Stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
Incredible. One Dark Star Memorial for you today. It says, "Hi, Common. It's that time of year again. 3 years ago, my mom, Kim, was finally relieved of her pain and suffering as she passed through the pearly gates. She had a hard life. She was a single mom and didn't make much money, but she made sure I had everything I needed and I also got most of what I wanted. She had to retire early due to health issues, which increased financial burdens. But she still made sure I could go to college and graduate debt-free. She was increasingly homebound during her last 10 years, but still never failed to be there when I needed her. She was my biggest fan, my number one advocate, and I miss her every day. It would be great if Dar could stop by and let her know how much I miss her, love her, and that she was the greatest mom I could have asked for. It'd be great if he could tell her some jokes or funny stories. She loved to laugh and always would watch her old shows like The Brady Bunch, Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith, MASH, and others. Love you, Mom. Your son, daughter-in-law, and granddog are doing great. Thanks, Common. Nick, formerly of Chisago Lakes, currently in Savannah, Georgia. And that's Dark Star Memorials for today. Tenna B, I saw one NFL note. A former Minnesota Viking quarterback is back in the division.
Oh my God.
Aaron Rodgers. No. Case Keenum signed with the Bears.
I
Did
saw
you see
that. I saw that.
So Case, we talked about this when, during the Rodgers stuff about just quarterbacks in general and how that backup quarterback, it can be important, but in most cases, when a team gets to the backup, it's over, Johnny, right? When you think about it, it's hard to find 32 really good quarterbacks, right? And I'm not trying to denigrate any of the guys that start in the NFL, but, when you have that top tier of guys, the same names we bring up all the time, it probably starts and ends with Mahomes, then it's in no particular order, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, the Hurts guy for Philadelphia, Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. There's probably some others that you could throw out right now. I guess you could put the Daniels kid there right now, I suppose. But you have that group of guys. After that, there's that second tier, and those are maybe 4 or 5 guys. And after that, it's like, well, okay, if you got a lot around them, I guess, and your defense is really good, you maybe can win some games, grab a spot. But most teams, I don't care. I couldn't name more than half a dozen backup quarterbacks in the league right now, but in all honesty, tell me one guy you go, yeah, well, that guy could be really good. He could lead us to that next level. There's a couple guys that have done it. I know Keenum was a backup quarterback when he came in, right? He didn't start the season for us, and he took the team into the playoffs with the Minneapolis Miracle. Flacco did a nice job was it a couple of years ago? Didn't he lead the Browns to the playoffs or somebody? So it happens, but it's just not very likely. And it's almost, and I'm not trying to diminish the backup quarter. You still want somebody that can walk upright and eat with a fork and can complete some passes and has had some experience and some success. But if you lose your starting quarterback for the season, look at any of those teams. You just go, well, guess we'll play out the string and wait till next year.
Well, what's adding fuel to the fire on the Rodgers stuff for me, and I know there's people that don't want to talk about Rodgers again, but I think what's adding fuel to the fire for me is they haven't signed a backup quarterback yet. And that was clearly a priority for them because they allegedly wanted Daniel Jones, right? They were one of 2 teams. It was them and the Colts. So they let it be known at that moment, hey, we want to have a priority because we want to have a good backup here because we have a young quarterback that's never played before and is coming off an injury. Yet since then, they haven't signed anyone. Right. They've let backup quarterbacks. And if you look at the list of backup quarterbacks available or just free agent quarterbacks available right now, there's not a lot out there. Like obviously, they've been talking to Ryan Tannehill, but of the ones that were on a team last year, because Tannehill was not in the league last year, you've got Rodgers, then it's Trey Lance, Drew Lock, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, and it drops off after that. Yeah. It's Easton Stick, Josh Johnson, Teddy Bridgewater, C.J. Beathard, Tyler Huntley, Brett Rippon, Jeff Driscoll, Desmond Ridder. And now they just let Case Keenum might not have been the highest priority, but he's still a quality guy that's been proven, he can come in and contribute. So the fact they haven't even signed a backup yet does to me maybe indicate that the Rodgers thing still might be a little bit there.
I absolutely agree with you. I think you're spot on. And, I've got this theory, and it's my gadfly sense. It's nothing more than a hunch, but that I just knowing Rodgers, the last thing he wants to do is participate in any OTAs or mini camps. I think he thinks he's at the stage of his career where he's above that. He doesn't need it, doesn't want to go through it. Ego's too big for that. And if and my guess is he's probably, he's not going to sign with the Vikings and then tell him, oh, by the way, I'm not showing up. So he probably, if there was serious conversations, it was probably, I'd love to play for you. I could be there for training camp, but I don't want to do OTAs and mini camps. And then that looks bad if the coach goes, we've signed Aaron Rodgers, but we've given him some time off. He's not. And then people go, who's running the place? What do you mean he's not going to be there? The guy's, he doesn't know the system yet. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. There's other veterans on this team that probably would. I mean, if you're Harrison Smith, you probably don't want OTAs and mini camps. A lot of guys wouldn't. Most players probably don't want OTAs and mini camps at all, and you're going to make an exception for him. Then it looks like, well, what about this culture and all for one and one for all, and we're a team here, 40 for 60 and 70. So then you just make it, my guess is other agreements like this. Hell, we had a Joe Smith secret deal one time. You could have a coach say, okay, let's just table it for now. We'll talk again a little bit later on. Maybe we'll talk after OTAs and mini camps. Wink, wink. Okay, sounds good. We'll get back to you then, coach. And then all of a sudden, OTAs and mini camps go by. I don't know how long between the last mini camp and training camp is, probably a few weeks, right? So 2 weeks.
You get most of June off.
Yeah, okay, so middle of June, late June.
Month and a half.
All of a sudden, it's announced Aaron Rodgers and the Minnesota Vikings have come to an agreement on a one-year contract. And you're right, because the court of those quarterbacks you just listed, I don't know, Tannehill, Flacco was real interesting. Remember last year, everybody thought Flacco. There comes a point where even a guy that had the success Flacco does, and he had a good year didn't he come in for the Browns and bring them to the playoffs, right, as a backup quarterback? And
yes, I think that was
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and then I think he had some moments with the Colts this year because he played against the Vikings.
Yes.
He's filling in for Anthony Richardson.
But you probably look at this year and can he do that again? What is he? He's got to be 40-ish close. I don't know. Tannehill seems like the best name, but, I don't know if I look at Tannehill being the quarterback and go,
he didn't play last year.
Yeah. JJ, Addison, Tannehill, let's go. I just don't know if I have that enthusiasm for it. We'll pause and return with one more segment to go. We call it the Victory Formation segment. That's next here on The Fan.
You know how we're always talking about what's next? Well, I found it. It's called Formula E. Forget everything you think you know about racing. This isn't just cars going fast. It's like a supercomputer on wheels. The tech is insane, and the drivers, they're like chess grandmasters at 200 miles per hour. You've got to see it. Trust me, you'll be hooked. Follow Formula E live on Roku. Next race, Miami, April 12th.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty. Self-doubt. Stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not just about saving, it's about investing. It's about navigating systems that weren't built for you, embracing your hustle, and relying on your community to create something bigger.
And that's exactly why we created the Wealth Break. We made something different, something more human. It's not just another financial podcast. It's a conversation about real life, real struggles, and real wins.
We're here to talk about the journey. You'll hear from people who've broken barriers, found creative ways to succeed, and learn to build wealth on their terms. Whether it's the first-time homeowner, a gig worker, or someone turning a side hustle into a six-figure business, we're bringing you their stories.
And we're not stopping at success stories. We're breaking down the realities, like what it means to take risk, how to navigate failure, and why resilience matters. Because wealth isn't about money. It's about creating a life where you can thrive and help others to do the same.
So if you're ready for a podcast as much as about people as it is about money, you're in the right place.
Listen to the Wealth Break podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It gets a lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever TP leaves behind on your behind. It's time to stop being an a-hole to your b-hole and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes. Best clean, pants down.
Brace yourselves for an epic night. Brantley Gilbert is hitting the Ledge Amphitheater on May 9th with his powerhouse country rock performance. This is one show you can't afford to miss. Check out KFAN.com keyword contest to see how you can win your way in today.
That sounds like a heck of a concert. I might want to show up with some friends. Couple 13-14 past, last segment of the show. Last segment of the week, as a matter of fact. We call it the Victory Formation segment. We've had another winning week. I don't know how many weeks we've been on the air. I've been doing a full-time show since 94. Take away vacation. I don't know if I've ever done a sick day. I don't think I'm never sick. Knock on wood. I'm built different, but it's been a lot of segments and a lot of weeks, a lot of shows. We've never had a losing show. We're undefeated, and we appreciate that. And we owe it all to you, the listener. Was just looking at we've got the 55-inch Toshiba Regza up, and they're doing a little special on ESPN about the Golden State Warriors, a little feature piece. Why are the Warriors a tough matchup heading into this postseason? They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're 20-5 in their last 25 games, and I believe most of those have been with Jimmy Butler. They also, and I didn't catch the entire starting lineup, and I'm not paying as close attention to the NBA or the Warriors starting lineup as I once did, but with a specific starting lineup that, of course, includes Draymond, however you want to say it, Draymond Green, Steph, and Jimmy Buckets, and then two others. They're 13-0, and I love power rankings. I love list radios, lazy radio, specifically on Victory Formation segment, and it's the latest NBA power rankings. NBA, the association, the East and the West together. It's almost by record, which. Tim, I think you and I kind of agree with that, right? If you have the best record in basketball, you're the number one team.
My
right?
favorite power rankings is called the standings.
And the Cavaliers, not the Cavaliers, but the Thunder is number one, followed by the Cavaliers. The Thunder are 64-12, and I saw the headline on another story that I did not read yet. I haven't gotten to it. It just appeared not long ago. It might have been a CBS Sports story. It said something to the effect of, can the Thunder reach 70 wins, and do they really want to? And I think what they mean by they really want to is, they might have to, start all the starters and go hard just to get to the 70-win plateau. And I'm assuming that's what the story meant. I did not read it, but that would be the only reason why you wouldn't want to get to 70, I would think, right? And that makes sense. That's like, we talked about it with Rosen yesterday. He says that after that double overtime loss to the Wolves, that Malone benched his entire starting five and they didn't play. And we can argue back and forth or all day long about load management. What about, the father and son that only get to go to one game and they've picked that one, and then Denver's benching all their players. But if your goal is indeed is to win an NBA title, and you think your guys are tuckered after a double overtime game and travel and everything, if you want to buy into all that, and I think a lot of these teams do, I think it probably makes sense to bench your entire team. So if the Thunder were looking at something like the best record in the history of the National Basketball Association, that might change my mind a little bit. But 70 wins that's what 72 with the didn't both the Golden State and the Bulls win 72? I think they each won it. 72, I thought. So you're not going to break any record anyway. So I'd play guys to keep them sharp, but I'd also rest them a little bit to keep them fresh, because you get to this time of the year, and I know that goes against, I complain about basketball players not trying all the time, and the load management stuff bothers me, and they're only playing 82 games out of the year. But, the
Warriors did have 73.
Okay.
But it is kind of astonishing if you think about it. Like, OKC could finish third all time. I feel like they're not talked about, right? And they weren't talked about like the Golden State Warriors were during their run, or like the Chicago Bulls were. I know it's partially because they're not going to eclipse them, but still, this is a historic season that.
Correct.
They fly under the radar.
Yeah, and they're very good defensively. They got size. They got two big guys, right? They got our guy Holmgren, and I can't recall the other kid's name, but they've got size. They can play basketball. But I would, I can't. Even though I'd rather see players play every game, that they can play and play hard the entire game, I can't get the NBA. I can't get the teams in the NBA to change their mind. So playing along with their logic, if you're gonna buy into it, I think most fans do. I get a lot of pushback when I complain about lack of effort and resting guys. A lot of people basically stay in your lane, stick to golf, stick to being a gadfly. You don't understand basketball or sports and whatever. But if I'm going to play along, then I would rest my guys, right? I mean, I wouldn't try to push to get 70 wins and then play guys deep into games going all out. The object here is to get the first seed, which they've basically locked up.
They have.
And then what you do is they
have a 14.5 lead.
Yeah, and then what you do at that point is you try to win the world championship is what you do. In that ranking, though, the Timberwolves are up to number 9. We're coming. They've jumped 3 spots since the last ranking. They're outpacing the Pacers, pun intended, and the Warriors. Despite what the Warriors have been doing lately, again, I just mentioned 20-5 in their last 25 games, they are number 11 in this power rankings. The Clips are just above the Wolves, the Lakers above the Clips. And I know you can't go by any individual game, but the Warriors just beat the Lakers last night relatively handily, too. And again, I'm a big buckets guy. Maybe I'm overrating him, but I'm not about to say that Golden State's the team to beat in the NBA West, in the Western Conference. But
since that trade, I'm guessing they have as good a record as anybody.
Yeah. 20-5 in their last 25. So I think they're one of the favorites to come out of the West. I'm not completely sold on the Wolves. I know when they play their hardest, and they've got more than just Ant contributing to the club. They're good.
After OKC, I could argue Golden State's second best team in the West.
I would argue that. And I just saw one of the clips on the little feature piece from last night's game, and LeBron's backing in down the lane, right, doing that with his back to like Barkley used to do, right? And he's being guarded by Steph. And the best part is, all of a sudden then, LeBron fakes left and spins around to go right, and Steph just lets him go by. He doesn't even try to stop him. And, there again, in most cases, I'd be going, well, why even bother you if you're not going to try? But Steph's...
It's not worth fouling.
No, it's not worth fouling him, and you don't want to get run down by it's like, it's not a big deal. And then they embraced after the game, Steph and LeBron. They had a big hug, and so, all for one and one for all. Someone, Tom from Columbia Heights, a regular listener and text messenger, says, Oklahoma City is a smaller market than we are. That's a big reason the East and West Coast media do not talk about them. And that could be it.
It is.
And I've still never understood. I understand it, but I don't agree with it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because if you're in the media, even if you're based on the West Coast, based on these, if you're a beat writer for a team on the East or West Coast or anywhere for that matter, well, yeah, you're going to focus more on that team because that's who you cover. But if you're one of these national guys and you're covering the association, and just because you're based on one of the coasts and they have the larger markets and all the more media, a greater share of a market share of viewers and such like that. But I go where the story is, and the story is, and there are a number of stories across the league. You can, it's not just Oklahoma City, but as you just mentioned, if they have an opportunity, if they ran the table here, to have one of the better records in the history of the National Basketball Association. So, but yeah, that's why. So I would follow the story if I was, a national guy. I wouldn't know. Well, they're a small market, so I'll ignore them. They're a great story, especially just looking at their their win and loss record. Who'd you say the Wild have tonight?
They've got the New York Islanders.
For some reason, I don't think the Islanders are that good, or am I wrong?
They're not awful. Okay. They're not San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks level, but they're a non-playoff team. For a while, it looked like they were going to be in the mix, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, if I recall. So it's a place the Wild have had success against the Islanders, and coming off a game where they maybe got a little bit of offensive confidence going at Madison Square Garden, scoring some goals, got 4 goals in that game. Guys like Johansson and Nyquist maybe gaining a little confidence. Boldy and Rossi playing a little bit better. So they're at the point now, the Calgary Flames won last night. So the Wild's lead in the Western Conference for that final playoff spot cut to 5 points, and Calgary has a game in hand. So we're up 5, 6 games to go for the Wild, 7 games to go for the Calgary Flames.
I think I have the answer for you, Tenna, that you asked earlier. You said, I brought up the fact, we were talking about the Masters in the invite list, and there's 96 in for sure, 96 or 97. If whoever wins the Valero, the tournament taking place now, if he's not already in the field, he'll get an automatic invite because he wins a tournament. So it's either going to be 96 or 97 players. And, players are exempt for different reasons. Some are just, they've won the Masters. Other is, they won the Open Championship last year, which gives them I don't know if it's a 2 or 3 year exemption to go to the Masters. If you were the United States Amateur Champion and the runner-up, I think you get an invite. If you're the United States Mid-Amateur Champ, you get an invite. And if you've won other majors, money list, whatever the case may be. Then there's the players that are exempt, that are expected not to play. And we looked at that list, and it included Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, who's won 6, last I checked, 6 Green Jackets. Yes, sir. And I asked you the question. I said, what if Jack said, I want to play? I don't think they could say no. If Fuzzy Zeller said, I want to play, they'd say, Fuzzy, we'd really rather you didn't show up. But if it's Jack Nicklaus, then you asked, would you be able to beat Jack Nicklaus in a round of golf over at Loggers Trail?
Yeah.
Or over at Prestwick? How do you think you would fare against him at Augusta National Golf Club? Because what I have here is, I just asked Grok AI.
Yeah.
Nicklaus's latest round at Augusta National. Here's what it said. After the 2024 Masters last year, Jack Nicklaus played 3 rounds at Augusta National, shooting 88, 90, 91, which he joked was a pretty good 4-round score. 88, 90, 91. Now, I don't think he's playing the tips. He's not at 78, 7,600 yards. I would bet he's not even playing. I don't know what members' tees are at Augusta. I would guess that's 6,500 yards. I don't know if Jack at 80 would be playing at 6,500 yards. He's got nothing to prove. I just don't know. Would he be playing senior tees around 6,000? That would be my guess, but I don't know because this doesn't really. Let me see if this story, there's anything. It doesn't look like. That's what I play anymore. They don't have any forward tees at Augusta. I can't play 6,400 yards. I hit the ball 190 off the tee. So it sounds like he's saying. One doesn't say what tees he played. He said, I can't play 6,400, so how far did he play? It doesn't have a yardage here.
Huh.
I'm guessing 6,000 yards he probably played.
That changes things.
Yeah. Now, as we know, the short game is paramount.
Yes,
at Augusta.
And that's not my strength.
Because they have different tiers, there's different levels in the greens, and they go left and right. And, you've heard the when you watch coverage of it, like there can be a pin placement, and there really is it's almost impossible to get it close. You got like a 4 square foot area to hit, and hopefully the ball stays. And then you're oftentimes, you're chipping and you're going up and down and over and back like that. At 6,000 yards, I still think I'm putting my money on Jack. I'm sorry. I hope you don't take that wrong. And I hope that doesn't jeopardize the long shot chance of me playing Tepetonka with you. I know that's a long shot to begin with. I hope that doesn't do it, but I think I'd take the Golden Bear, Tenna.
I don't dispute that.
Yeah.
I remember asking you the question last year, one of those controversial questions of the day at 5 questions, because I think I saw it on TikTok or something of, the question posed was, say for you, for instance, or even myself, could I, if I had to play the Masters, but I got to start on the part of the green. I didn't have to drive, didn't have to go through the fairway, irons, nothing. I started on the green, would just have to be on the furthest part away from the hole on the green. Could I win the Masters if I started from the green and everyone else is obviously just playing their normal rounds? And I think you said no, which I get, because even then, right, like, I'd like to think on par fives I would probably be able to clean up a little bit. But there's going to be some holes where you're putting and the thing goes off the green and you're chipping, and I'd probably 3-putt and 4-putt a lot there.
Yeah, I maybe take that back, because if it's 18 greens, even if you 4-putted every one, that's a 72.
Yes.
And I don't think you're going to 4-putt every green. If I said that, I'm taking that back.
I'm not going to be 1-putting those.
I think you'd win the green, the Masters, and I'd like to put the coat over your shoulders at Tepetonka. Oh, my gosh, if that's okay.
Above average. I think I could make the cut doing that.
Oh, no, there's no question, I think.
I like to think after a while, when that's all you're doing, you'd get used to the greens a little bit. I know I'm not going to be able to read them like Tiger Woods.
Well, I made the bold and brash statement a couple of weeks ago that I putt better than 50% of the players at on the PGA Tour. There were times today where I'm really, since I got a lesson from the legendary Larry Bobka over at Second Swing in Minnetonka near Ridgedale, and he fit me with a new putter, Ping Oslo. I putt better than I ever have. And today, I was making putts from all over the place. I mean, I did have a 3-putt, but I'm making putts from all over the place. And my lag putts, even if I'm putting from a long way, I had one on, what happened was on 14, right after the par.
Yep, the short par 4.
I second time of the day I did this where I leaned too quick into the driver and I almost topped it, and it only went like about 150 yards or something. And I had like one, that's how bad I hit it. I had like 170 to the green, right? To the pin.
Right.
I hit it, and it was a front pin, and it went over the back to the very back of the green. So I was on the green. I walked it off at 65 feet, and I rolled it up to about 4 inches. And it was dead center, cut the whole way, and just at the very end. And that's... The guys on tour, people think that they're making every. If you watch golf, the key is, hitting it closer to the hole so you can make those 8, 12, 14, 15 footers for birdie. But when they don't put it in the right spot in the green and they've got 60, 70, 75, they almost always roll it up.
They like putters, yeah.
They roll it up. They tap
don't
in.
3-putt.
No, they roll it up. They tap in. They roll it up. They tap in. And even if they do go by, by a couple of feet, they usually ram it back in. Yeah. That's a great Faldo line. I'd rather go 6 feet by than 3 feet short, because I'd rather I'll just ram it in from 6 feet by. Someone said, could Tenna beat a 125-pound female boxing champion? Well, we've discussed that before.
Not anymore.
Maybe not anymore. This one says, at 6,000 yards, Jack ain't shooting 90. He was playing pro tees for sure. So you think that's what he was playing when he said they don't have forward tees?
Maybe that's what he's saying. Yeah, he had to play the tips because they don't have the forward tees.
Oh, okay. So then, do you think he's playing?
I'm assuming he's still playing a decent amount,
Yeah.
right? It's still his livelihood.
My guess is if they don't have... No, because I have a friend of mine who I golf with on a regular basis who has played at Augusta National Golf Club. And I know he was playing... Hartman played at Augusta, and I know he wasn't playing the tips. They have a set for the regular members at 6,500 yards. I know they did somewhere in there. I know they have to. They don't have just, you either play the tips or you don't play at all. No,
maybe when Jack was there, because it was after the Masters, maybe they didn't have it set up at that time because they were just gone through the tournament.
Maybe he played the tips. Yeah. I just think, but
if he played the tips, then I'm not beating him.
Well, I think there's also a difference between the members' tips, which would be right around 7,000 yards, and they've made Augusta longer for the tournament. I don't think there's a lot of members playing from the tournament tees out there. I don't think.
So are there no forced carries at Augusta? Because if he's hitting at 190 off the tee, that would be a bit of a struggle.
I don't think there are a lot of forced carries off the tee at Augusta. I think Augusta National yardages. Let's see if it says anything, Tenna. Master scorecard. Well, they're going to be the master scorecard. Well, that ain't going to work. I don't know.
Well, if he's adamant on playing me at Augusta, I will accept that challenge. I'll go down there. I'll go play him.
And you'll play at any tees he wants.
Yeah. I'll go play him at Augusta.
I understand. I would do that as well. Someone just said, I Googled Augusta. They have two sets of tees, masters and members.
What's the members tees?
Well, that's what I don't want. The members, there's too many members that are just the Thurston Howell the thirds, and they're old and ancient, and they're not playing at 7,000 yards. If they are, they're shooting 110. I'm just sorry they are. That's too controversial. Tenna, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We really appreciate our visit with you today and this week. Enjoy your weekend. If you're at the comedy show tonight out at Styx and Dahlgreen, we'll see you there tonight. We're back tomorrow or Monday at 12 noon. Who's in? Guardsy and Brett Blakemore next year on The Fan.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
You know how we're always talking about what's next? Well, I found it. It's called Formula E. Forget everything you think you know about racing. This isn't just cars going fast. It's like a supercomputer on wheels. The tech is insane, and the drivers, they're like chess grandmasters at 200 miles per hour. You've got to see it. Trust me. You'll be hooked. Follow Formula E live on Roku. Next race, Miami, April 12th.